we have to talk about the most boring season of Love is
Oh
Blind
my
ever.
gosh. Bless.
It's not. I don't know if it's the worst season. Unfortunately, Houston, I think, still takes that cake. It was so bad. It was so bad. But this season was boring. Now it has picked up a little bit.
Boring.
But it feels like we're almost grasping at straws for.
Everyone looks the same, acts the same, aside from Devin and Virginia.
Yeah, but even them they're just not. They're just kind of basic. I don't say that they're basic, but there's nothing like crazy stand out about them.
Yeah, it's not like you're just like, oh my goodness, their connection is unreal. And then it's also not. But then you're also not like, oh no, they're horrible.
Exactly.
So it's kind of just like, okay.
It's not basic. It's like middle ground.
Yeah.
They're just kind of meh.
Yeah.
Maybe because again we're caught up. We've seen all the episodes.
We need to just talk about Dave. I mean, he's the worst.
Yes, let's do Dave, and then we'll go couple by couple.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Where do we even begin? Dave was problematic in the pods from the jump. Okay, he was
asking them what's wrong with you.
Asking them what's wrong with you. Talking about how what did he say? He'd been he'd treated girls badly before.
Right.
Like it just was like, ugh. And it was inexplicable why Molly and Lauren were fighting over him. I mean, they weren't really fighting, but like they both wanted him. Like, I don't understand why. I really don't. Yeah. Because he has continued to show his just unattractive qualities post pods too.
Yeah.
Like he is berating this girl for having a friends with benefits situation prior to coming into the pods.
Yeah.
And she's like extremely upset about it. She's literally telling him like that's all it was. Like it's not a big deal. And he's just like refuses to believe anything she has to say about it. And I'm like, if this is your fiance,
exactly,
and this is the person you're gonna be with, then you need to believe her and trust her when she says it's not a big deal.
Right.
But he continues to be like, well, my friends know him and they know for a fact that you were with him the night before you came. It's like, how do they know that because they were there? Did they go to the house with it? Like, that's just such a crazy thing to say. And then she's just like, you know, telling, and then poor girl, like she has to bear it all on the show. Like, she might not want to say it was just friends with benefits. It was just hooking up. It was just like, she might not want to admit that, yet she's trying to defend herself because
she was
willing
to because she wanted to be with him so bad inexplicably.
And it's just like, why are you doing that? And a lot of people are saying, like a lot of people online are saying, well, it's because he doesn't like her and he's trying to find a way out. But I think he's just incredibly insecure. That's what I think.
Yeah, you're right. I think, man, I don't think, to be, if you know what I've thought, because you're right. A lot of people are like, oh, he doesn't like her for whatever reason, doesn't like her look, isn't ready for it. He's just trying to get a way out. Then I've heard of people who's like, no, just like you're saying, he really is insecure about this or doesn't want to trust her. Or like, oh wow, someone I know already, hooked up with this girl. I don't want that kind of. But to be honest, the more I think about it, I don't even know if he knows.
Yeah.
There's a lifelessness behind his eyes.
True.
Which she's like burying her soul.
That's true.
That if it was truly tearing him up, which is what I thought, I would expect more of this is so hard, you know what I mean? Because I really do love you, but it's just, I can't, I don't know. I've known these people for so long. I don't know why they would lie to me. You know what I mean? Why would they?
Yeah.
And they're also concerned. I have to take it, consideration what they're saying. But this is so hard. I don't want to see you cry. But he's just,
That's so true.
It's dead.
That's
and
so
like,
true.
I'm like, surely this man can have zero empathy. And then, like, if he was just trying to get out of it, just get out of it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way to go to make her look any worse than you've made her look. If you think you've made her look bad, just say, I don't know if I can get past this. Maybe we need to shut it down. But kind of like with Molly, he kind of was like, I've come to a conclusion and is hoping that they're like, okay, so are we done?
Yeah.
Then he can be like, I
That's
said
true.
that.
He did do that.
But Lauren isn't doing that. So he's just kind of, but I don't know.
And so then to get mad at Lauren for, like, not completely ending things with this friends with benefits situation is wild, because you don't do that either.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing because he legitimately was just talking to a girl. What's worse, her saying like, oh, it was just a physical connection. I have zero, romantic connection with this guy. Whatever. Or him saying like, I was kind of 50-50 on you girls on who I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why I don't even know if he knows what's going on in his head. I think he's waiting for his sister to tell him.
Oh my gosh,
how he feels about it.
Other thing. Why the sister? Something about, well, okay, it could be because his mom has passed, and so now he views his sister as like a motherly figure. I don't know. I'm just saying that. But there's something that he's like so concerned and worried about how his sister is going to feel about all this.
He was crying in the pods, like the lobby area, talking about, I hope she's okay with it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think she is.
I need to see this. I need eyes on the sister.
We have to. That's like...
And then, but also, too, Lauren keeps being like, let me talk to your friends and clear this up. And he's like refusing to allow that.
Right, because he doesn't want to change his mind.
Yeah.
But why, I don't know. First of all, we have to see the sister. I hope they got her on the show because it's like the last, I don't want to say the only redeeming thing, but it could help it if we have a family confrontation. But in the preview, they didn't show her. I feel if they had her on the show, they would have shown in the preview, boom, boom, Lauren opening the door to her sister's house. And she'll be like, so what do you got to say for yourself? Here's another thing about Lauren, and I think he knows this deep down. If they heard Lauren, her side of it, and talked to her, they might still be stubborn, but you can honestly hear how she was reacting and being like, oh, she was trying to hurt you. You know what I mean? She's a total liar. She was very earnest with it. She was willing to, I want to talk to him and defend myself. But he just wants to end it, I think. Or I know he wants to end it. Why, I don't know. Watching the show, I was very annoyed with Dave. What does he go by? David.
I think Dave.
No, I think that her ex situationship was Dave, and he's David.
I think he goes by Dave. I have it written down as Dave in my notes. I could be wrong, but
I was very annoyed, just like everyone was. But as time goes on, I'm like, this guy clearly doesn't care. Didn't want to be, wasn't seriously looking for anything. Because what if she'd been the perfect girl? What? And your sister said no. What would you have done? Yeah. And she seems like a great girl.
Right.
I don't know. It's just, anyways. Ugh.
Whatever. Good riddance.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way they're getting married. He's not even staying. They haven't even stayed together.
They haven't stayed together. He doesn't want her to meet his friends, even to defend herself.
They haven't shown us meeting her family at all.
Yeah, they're not going to. I think the thing about, he is a villain, but I like villains that I like to hate, quote unquote.
Yeah.
To root against. I just don't even care about this guy. Feel bad for Lauren, but it's just like, let's move on. And so let's move on. You have anything else on them?
No.
I feel like I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about Devin and Virginia. Their whole time in the pods, we haven't talked about. Let's talk about how long the pods were. Everyone has said it. We're not the first to talk about it, but 6 episodes of straight pods, criminal.
Too much.
Lock those producers up.
Especially because there was barely any drama.
Lock those producers up.
It
was maybe the production. I almost want to hear what they're saying about editing, because they could be saying like, we saved this season because it was boring and there was no drama,
right?
And we had to squeeze out everything we could, and the only thing that was available was the pods.
Yeah,
that maybe is what they're saying. But still, if that's the case, maybe just scrap the season.
Yeah, for real.
Or
They
like,
would never, though.
they would never, or make the season shorter. We would be upset about
Yeah.
that. But just if the content's not there, don't do 6 episodes of pods.
It gets so boring in the pods.
We had, I would want to see the time, how much time we spent listening to Madison and Alex and Mason and Meg conversations, just for them, all 4 of them, to decide not to meet up with anybody.
Right.
Now, they are going to have some drama at the cocktail party, but if they're not getting married, who cares? We're here to see people if they'll get engaged. You know what I mean?
It does appear that Meg and Mason are together, though.
Right, which is good for them, but this isn't just a regular dating show.
True.
It's, are you willing to get married?
True.
Off of,
True.
Yeah, but okay. Devin and Virginia.
I think we kind of already said it.
Yeah.
They're just kind of mid.
Yeah.
You said maybe she settled.
Well, she hasn't said settled, but she's definitely said she's going against type. She's not going for the guy she could have gotten and dated in the past.
And she said in the pods, right? Like, well, I could find someone tomorrow outside of here.
No, I don't know if she said hot guy or however she phrased it, but she was basically saying it doesn't matter what you look like.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. She
seems very successful. She seems very. As the more I saw her, because it was very, at the beginning, it was very much just like, especially contrasted with his original match, Brittany, and they were exuberant, they were going back, and she was just kind of more of a thank you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's great. You're great. But as we've seen her more, she's very, I think, confident, mature, secure.
Yeah.
And,
that's true.
And willing to make a partnership. And a lot of times, that's what makes a successful relationship.
That's true.
It doesn't necessarily make great TV.
True. But I don't even feel like they have a cute vibe. Like, okay, with Joey and Monica, they're cute. Like, they're goofy, they're funny, they're quirky, they're cute,
Yeah, Devin and Virginia, the only thing they have is that, there's nothing really.
I know.
There's drama in the will they won't they prenup, but if brother, good looking woman who's willing to pay off your debts, what I'll do it.
How wild was his family with her? His family with her though. Being like, so what if he loses his job tomorrow?
What if our parents have to move in?
What if our parents? Yeah, like.
What if he wants to have 5 kids and name them Devin? Yeah. What if our pig dies and you have to eat pork for 5? What if you have to? You're like, calm down.
Yeah,
people.
like what was that?
I think some people come in with the mentality we're gonna grill her.
Yeah,
we're gonna but she's not. That was a good moment because she answered all of those.
Yeah.
She was very. You could tell. I don't know what she says. She's in healthcare, but I feel like she could do some kind of marketing thing because when Dave, we did talk about this, and Honduras was going around asking every single person, hey, have y'all had sex yet?
Oh my God.
Including the women. She handled herself very, lightly on her feet and was like, I forgot what she said. But when talking to the parents, when they were throwing these fastballs at her, she was like, yeah, this, why we think this is where we're going to go. And
I would have destroyed Dave if he came up to me and said that. Oh my gosh. I just feel like that's so none of your business.
Truly. And watch the show. You'll see.
Yeah,
if you want to know that bad.
Whatever.
So I think they'll work out. I don't know why he wouldn't sign the prenup. I think she's she's not saying you don't get any money. It's just if the worst were to happen.
I wonder if we're gonna see her family.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
The thing about the prenup conversation, my opinion on it is, and we discussed this when we were watching the episode. Well, this is a take actually nowadays. Mm-hmm. I actually don't. I think if you were genuinely committed, a prenup shouldn't necessarily. I know there's a lot of legal reasons someone might for other reasons. But if it's just because I'm scared you might divorce me, well, then don't get married.
Yeah.
And it's how I genuinely feel about it. And I do think and not everyone views marriage about this, Lord knows. But if you're going to join together and then split up. You join together and then split up. Don't litigate. Oh, well, I was 90%, and then you 10%, and you never did anything more than, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, then don't marry that person if you can't. It's how I see it.
Yeah.
I can understand in the instance where if you married someone that you've only known for 10 days or 3 months, however long the process is, maybe you're like, I do want to marry you, but I don't know everything I can know about you in 3 months.
Yeah.
So I can kind of understand where she's coming from. And she doesn't seem unreasonable. It doesn't sound like I want to divorce you.
Yeah.
But if I divorce you, I just want to have some groundwork. So, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's touchy. You probably know a little more about it than I do.
What, prenups?
Well, just divorce.
Oh, divorce.
Right. I say that not because of anything, just because
I work with people.
You're a counselor who you've seen people of all different walks.
Who have been divorced or who are thinking about getting divorced or all of that. No, I mean, most, I would say, well, I don't know. A lot of people do, when they are getting to that point, do look back and say, yeah, the signs were all there. I just ignored it. I didn't, all that.
What do you mean that they were probably not going to work out as a relationship? Yeah. When they talking about the points of getting to divorce?
No, like,
you're saying when someone is thinking about divorcing their spouse, they look back and say, like, I should have known.
Yes, exactly. Right. I should have. I ignored red flags, or it never really was that great. Things like that. So, like, I think if you are already having those feelings, listen to that.
Yeah.
And maybe let's not proceed.
I agree. And you said it the best. I think that's you're right. My thing is the prenuptial agreement is don't get married.
Yeah.
If you can't, you know what I mean? Like, if we don't work out or whatever, you deserve 50% of the very little, you know what I'm saying, that I have, because it's not what I expected at all.
Yeah.
Not what I expected. It's like whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think of it in terms of that way. And so I just can't, from my perspective, truly ever imagine why you would get married to someone who you also feel like, oh, I hope this person doesn't take half of everything I own.
Exactly.
Because, anyways, it's not a marriage podcast, I guess. But she's handled. We talked a lot about Devin and.
I know.
So let's go to Joey and Monica. You already brought them.
Yeah, I think they're goofy. I think they're fun. I think they could really work out. I think, unfortunately, her sister was very jealous, and it was not coming off as supportive in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And so I could see maybe her being like, Monica being like, questioning it because of that. But at the same time, when she was talking to Joey about it, she wasn't like,
I don't talk about my sister like
that.
Yeah,
exactly. And she wasn't like defending her sister's actions.
Yeah.
So I could see it going either way.
She seems like, and she was also like, didn't have the relationship when her sister was like, I don't want you to get divorced. Monica was like, I don't want to get divorced.
Right.
Why would you think I would want that?
Yeah.
She's like, it could happen. She's like, that's not what I'm aiming for.
Right.
She was already kind of like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? We're not going to say anything I don't think anyone else online has said about. I mean, everyone knows Joey and Monica. We barely saw them for the first 6-7 million hours of the show or whatever. And now we got a lot of them as the sister thing. Here's my thought. And I want to hear what you have to say on this. What do you think it's like for her sister watching back these moments and then going online and seeing everyone being like, whoa, jealous much?
Yeah.
You know, like, whoa, what's wrong with her, Monica? You should let your sister talk. You know what I mean?
I mean, do you think either way?
Do you think it even registers? Or she's like, wow, these are all haters? Or what is that like? Because that's a vulnerable thing for basically all of America to be like,
yeah, like,
yikes.
It could go either way. She could definitely be like, yeah, I kind of was jealous. Or she could be like, no, I just love my sister and I'm protective of her and that's all that it was. And
Right.
But, I mean, it wouldn't be fun, certainly, to look back and see that.
I almost could imagine her being like, nah, I am the oldest. I should have gotten married first.
Yeah.
She also said
there are a lot of people who think that.
She was like, yeah, and I wasn't being like, oh, I don't want you to get married. I was just expressing how weird I thought
And
it.
that's kind of, sisters can be, and I don't, brothers, you'll have to weigh in on the brothers, but sisters can be kind of competitive in that way.
I've never thought about it, but let's say I was the oldest and both my younger brothers were married.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would be like, wow, y'all. I might say jokingly, y'all beat me to it, but I wouldn't. And maybe that's what she would be saying, like, yeah, I was just joking or whatever. But I'm thinking I would be more of like a, dang, I am lonely. Let me go find me a wife. I want what my brothers have.
Yeah.
Not, I can't believe y'all are getting married first.
Yeah.
I think that's. I don't think that's a boy or girl thing. I think that's a her thing. In the sense,
I've definitely heard sisters say it.
Really?
Not mine, but I have heard sisters say it.
Yeah, it's tough. I think that's a lot of societal stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am not. My wife is a licensed counselor. I am talking out of ignorance, but I think guys, most men aren't told by society that your self-worth is in getting married.
Absolutely.
As much. I'm not saying all women are told this.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying it's an explicit message. It's not flashing on commercials.
Right.
But a lot of it, I've heard the examples of like, oh, we teach girls to dream about their weddings, their dream weddings.
Right.
What boy have you ever heard talking about his dream
No, that's fair.
wedding?
That's fair.
So in that sense, it could be like, I've seen TikToks of like the oldest sibling. The parents weren't financially able to have a quinceañera, but then the youngest comes along.
Yeah.
And they get to this extravagant thing and they're just sitting there like, well, where was mine?
Yeah.
So it could be kind of like where's mine? I was supposed to be.
Absolutely.
You watched Succession, Kendall Roy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thought he was supposed to get. So I think that it could come from a that place coupled with boys just don't care about it as much. Because we, not all boys, not all dudes.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would be jealous.
Yeah.
And I can't say for sure her sister's jealous, but she looks very jealous.
So the thing about this, the whole thing about her family dynamic, though, is that they were fun. They just had fun. They were happy. They were joking. They were laughing.
Yeah.
And Joey was just in on it.
Yeah.
But the sister was not really having fun with it. They were joking about how Monica had talked to the sister's boyfriend first online and then was like, I think you'd be great for my sister.
Right.
And they were all laughing and joking about it. The sister was not. It was not funny to her.
Right.
And that's okay. But like at the same time, it kind of shows that she's insecure about it.
Yeah. It's such, and also they were like, the mom was like, and they edited the show. We have to remember editors are editing what is being shown.
True.
They were like, oh, y'all look cute together, talking to Monica, Joey, and her older sister was like talking about her relationship. Oh, did we look cute together?
Yeah.
So I just think, to some degree, that's why my original question is, what is it like? Because there's a world. I mean, you would have some questions about your sibling marrying someone after 10 days.
Sure, yeah.
And it's just...
But remember what I said when we were watching? I don't know if you remember. But I was like, yeah, like, that's okay. But a supportive sister would be like, if something happens and y'all do get divorced, I'll be there for you.
I hear you. And
like, instead of being like, well, I don't want you to get divorced. Kind of like, oh, well, how's that going to look for you? Or what's that going to look like?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I will say this. I did not consider myself as being someone on TV that I said this, but I was like, okay, looking for nooks for gossiping is not how I would have described but that's how it was, and it's become that's what was on the show. So I am leaving space, holding space.
Okay.
Wicked. Okay. I am holding space for the possibility that she was like, I said that? I didn't.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It came out, but it was like, that was more like a passing thought. I don't know if I meant it that way.
Absolutely.
You and I being reality TV stars, we can relate.
Yeah.
Dang, we got a couple couples. What else we got left?
Sara and Ben. So they just, they're basic. But they seem like they have have good chemistry, except now they have a whole Instagram debacle too, kind of like the other couple.
Yeah.
Of like, some girl got on there saying these guys on the Minnesota guys are all trash and narcissistic, and he was like, I think she's talking about me, which good for him for kind of being upfront about it, but I don't know. It just seemed so, to me, it seemed like Sarah was really like on the girl's side, which I can understand wanting to really get to the bottom of it, but at the same time, like, it was so long ago.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It's just, to me, it sounded like a classic case of maybe she liked him more than he liked her.
I agree.
And she thought it was something else. We've all been there.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, when it comes to that situation, I definitely was like, ugh, I could understand a situation arises where that girl was way more into him, and he's just kind of like, how do I eject out of this? It's probably better than to say, make it a whole long conversation and probably just like, hey, sorry, not in.
And if it was more, I'm sorry. Like, if it really was more, like, he was like abusive or like,
well, she didn't say he was abusive.
But she didn't say anything like that. So I don't know, to me it just doesn't seem like it needed to be elevated that much.
I don't know who the girl is. I saw the TikTok, but I didn't really pay attention.
I
so
mean,
who she was.
Did say he was narcissistic, and that is abusive. So I think that's why I said that, because that gets,
it can be abusive. You can be narcissistic and not be abusive, I feel like, right?
It'd be really tough.
But I'm talking about, so a narcissistic person goes on 2 dates, that means they automatically abuse someone?
No, definitely
See, he said it wasn't more than just a couple hookups, or hangouts. He said they didn't hook up.
Yeah.
He purposely said they didn't hook up.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, is it possible that it was a brief encounter where he was just like, ooh, and she was like, how dare, she was coming into it. We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who the girl is. I don't know her backstory. I think on TikTok especially, man and woman, there's this whole subgenre of chronicling dating, and you are the protagonist of your story, and therefore every single person who you didn't work out with is some villain that interrupted your love story.
Yeah.
And it becomes, I'm not saying this about this girl, but it can easily become like, oh, you just have the worst luck. Why is every single guy in Minneapolis horrible?
Yeah.
As much as the guys we've seen aren't the best guys, every single man in Minneapolis is not a narcissistic scumbag.
No, for sure.
Ghost. Like, it's just, it can't be possible.
For sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get what everyone's saying, but sometimes it's like people just don't like each other.
Yeah.
But not to take Ben off the hook completely, I do think Ben and Sarah are perfect for each other, and that they both are just trying to put on a front. There's stories about him handing out YouTube cards, which, hey.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Maybe we need to do that too. It got him on Love is Blind. But he clearly wants to be known. Sarah, what I mean by Sarah, I think she has there's a certain look she wants to be perceived a certain way, as sticking up for certain causes, as believing in certain things.
That's true.
And then, but when it comes to the brass tacks, she's like, okay, but you'll do better, right? And you know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, so what are we talking about here?
That's another markdown for Ben, though, too. Red flag for Ben, though, too, is that he was like, I don't know about Black Lives Matter. Like, I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that. Like, that's a little, and I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to say it on TV for the whole world to see, but that's just not great.
Oh, no. My glasses just broke.
Oh, no.
But, yeah, I think when it comes, and it, like, really broke. When it comes to these, I was going to wear these to your delivery tomorrow.
Oh, no.
Anyways, I do have multiple glasses. We'll make it work, people. When it comes to them, I feel like they want to be seen a certain way, less than actually being a certain way. You know what I mean? And I think they're perfect for each other. Like, everyone's making it up like, oh, how could she stay with him after all that stuff and all this? Like, cause that, I mean, she's going to be with somebody like that. I feel like.
I agree.
Okay, let's move off of them. Let's wrap it. Let's get it. We're on the home stretch.
Who's the last one?
Taylor
and Daniel.
Yes.
Which also an Instagram debacle.
Right.
She thought he had followed her, and he knew the whole time who she was, which to me is absurd.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. But there... Do you know how many female Taylors there probably are in Minnesota who are probably Christian and love Taco Bell and
are nurses,
dog mom or whatever it is in her thing,
and love their family?
Yeah, like how could he know?
How could he know that she was going to be on Love Is Blind?
Well, it's just from talking to her, like, how could you know that that's the same girl? Now, if they have mutual friends and he's come across her page before and looked at it, and maybe he accidentally followed her but quickly unfollowed her, okay. But let's talk about, why are you looking so closely about who's following you and unfollowing you? Just make your thing private if you really are concerned about that.
Yes. Having a followers app in 2025. I think back in the day when the social media wasn't as like well fleshed out, maybe it made sense. But today I think it's a little telling. Like, who cares? For your personal page.
Yeah.
You know, for the People's Rose, we need the followers, and I'm watching you closely. If you unfollow the People's Rose, I will know.
Okay.
I will show up at your house and make you follow us again. But like I saw someone post, and I wish I kept track of that TikTok. I'm sure I could find it, but where she was like, who cares?
Yeah.
Let's say he did know it was you.
Yeah.
If the only reason you are marrying this man is because he knew you like Taco Bell, he's, I guess in the nurses, and y'all both like Christmas, then it doesn't matter how he figured that out. Yeah. He could have found that out. He could have, all those facts he could have learned about her in the first 3 minutes of them talking.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
What made them connected is more than just that.
Yeah.
And I think she kind of realized that.
Yeah, I think so too. Because as she was scrolling through, I think she realized this is kind of silly.
Yeah, and they had the Bueller thing. They both said it at the same time, and they had the same humor. They're both committed to the same things. I think they're going to be a great couple. It was very touching to see their families meet each other.
Yeah, that was really sweet. I don't think we've ever seen that.
Which that shows how crazy the experiment is, because of course in real life, if possible, the parents meet each other. Yeah. Because the families are going to be connected.
For sure.
And so seeing that this was the first time that happened was kind of like, oh snap, this show's crazy.
I will say that the parents were kind of laying it on a little thick about the, like, we don't do divorce in this family. Which I get it, but also, like, I feel like, I don't know.
Well,
it's added pressure, maybe?
I feel like people have co-opted that phrase because it's just, everyone says it.
Yeah.
Everyone says, like, oh, they're my person. And I'm like, that is it means nothing anymore. But people just say it because they hear everyone else say it. People say, in this family, we don't do divorce. When unfortunately, there's divorces in their family. Now, they might truly have a lineage of no divorces.
Yeah.
But I think it's better to say, we want this to go to distance.
Absolutely.
We want y'all to exhaust every avenue to stay committed to each other and to start that commitment on solid ground.
Yeah.
Saying it's like changing the perspective from saying, we don't have liars in this house.
Yeah.
When you're parenting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't come in here lying about stuff.
Yeah.
How dare you? And I've already said stuff like that. But you want to frame it into like, we want to be truth tellers. Yes. We want people to respect our word.
Yes.
And, we want to be somebody who's honest and respectful and people can trust. Right. And not just, how dare you lie?
Right, exactly.
When it's just like, don't get divorced, that's how people end up in bad situations.
Right.
They feel like, well, I have to make this commitment and just be miserable for life. When you can say, no, you can wait to start and be sure, like, we're going to be, I know this person is equally committed to what we want to accomplish.
Absolutely.
But the shorthand people have is just to say, we don't do divorce in this family.
Right. Absolutely. Yep.
I was touched. I cried. I'm not gonna lie. In that meeting, when they met the families, his family was very supportive. His dad, her dad is so clearly, he's sick, as she said, And I think he so clearly and so badly wants his daughter to be
Yeah.
safe and married and see that step in her life.
Mhm.
If, Lord, God forbid something wrong were to happen to him,
Mhm.
like it will to everyone eventually. But you get what I'm saying? He wants to see that.
Yeah.
So I think he was more willing, and he's like, yeah, he seemed like a great guy.
Yeah.
And Daniel's parents touched on this, and I think this is a big thing. We do, all parents, our parents before us, their parents, and us as parents. There's going to come a time where you can't make your kids do.
Oh yeah.
Like JB's 3, so I could be like, no, actually, you are going to be.
Right. Absolutely.
But I can't do that to him when he's 33.
Right.
I wouldn't expect to be. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And so if your daughter, if the daughter we are about to have right now
goes on Love is
comes
Blind.
30 years from now or 18 years from now. And
Oh,
it's like,
no, not 18.
18, I will be like, hey.
Oh, no.
But you know what I'm saying? 33
Yeah.
years from now. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm on Love is Blind season 509.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I met this awesome guy from Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
And we're moving there and we're going to raise sheep. And
Oh, gosh.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We would do that like, oh gosh. But
Yeah.
at some point you got to be like, all right.
Yeah.
We are definitely believers in God. And so we see and tell me if you disagree, I think we see our parenting as like a stewardship.
Mm-hmm.
JB and our son and our daughter are going to be full adults one day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of their life. This is their life. We are their parents, but his life is not my life.
Yeah.
I get a lot of say in it right now, but we want to set him up so when he is adult, he's ready.
Yeah.
When she is an adult, she's ready.
Right.
And she's fully informed, and they're fully realized as much as you can be at whatever age that is.
Mm-hmm.
So when they start making decisions, we don't look back and say like, dang, why didn't we prepare them for that?
Right. I agree.
But we won't be able to control it, but we want to be able to say, well, we told you this your whole life, and now you're finding out.
Yeah.
I can hear my parents be like, yeah, Jared, we told you this would happen. You wanted to find out for yourself.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So even as a parent, I think as her mom has to say like, hey, you want to marry a guy you met on a dating show? Just like you said about her sister,
Mm-hmm.
Monica's sister. I'll support you and stand up for whatever happens.
Yeah.
That's Love is Blind. I think it's season 8.
I think so.
Listen, guys, we're gonna be taking a paternity break. It's gonna be a while before you hear Brooke's soothing voice, her infectious laugh, and you can make it. You can get through it. But we're gonna have updates about our family as it grows. We're not gonna become family vloggers.
No.
Not doing that. I think it's illegal in California now.
No, they're okay.
Yeah.
Trust funds.
Yeah. But the People's Rose will continue. Mm-hmm. This is a podcast by the people, for the people, and from the people being Brooke and Jared. Mm-hmm. And so that said, I would like to do Rose Podium this week for my wife. Oh. Brooke, she is a reality TV star.
Oh, wow.
She is, gone through a lot this pregnancy. Oh. And she's going to have an awesome performance tomorrow.
I'm honored.
And she deserves the People's Rose for what she's doing for our family. Wow. And we're really grateful. And we just are so thankful that we have you. You don't have any roses to go, do you?
No.
So as for the podcast, don't worry if you're listening to this whenever you're listening to it, an episode is coming. We just don't know when yet. We just really don't know.
Yeah.
But we're happy to continue this hobby. Thank you for listening. Please follow us on social media. We're at the People's Rose on most social websites, except for Blue Sky, which is peoplesrose.com. Our website is peoplesrose.com, where you can listen to our episodes and follow us on whatever podcast streaming app you use. And also on your podcast streaming app, rate and review us. Give us a boost, you know what I mean? Help us come back with more followers, because I'm getting that followers app and I'm watching people. And we just hope to continue to somehow, some way, continue on with this in some capacity. obviously.
Yep.
Thank you for listening, Brooke. You got anything else?
No.
Pray for us as we grow our family, and peace out.